It's no secret that I love stencils, and this technique is just another great way to use this inexpensive tool in your craft stash. Create subtle, batik-like looks in any water-based background panel using this deceptively simple stencil technique. Every technique video is narrated live while I'm doing the technique, so you're getting a real-time view of how the whole process works. Pull out the supplies I'm using and create right along with me, pausing as you need. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. This technique is a really great way to add additional texture and interest to your background panels, no matter what you've done with them. If it's a Distress Oxide blended panel, a dye ink blended panel, a sprayed panel, or even a watercolored panel, you can do this technique. So I have these 4 panels set up and I've got some stencils with me. You're going to need a water spray bottle. And I also find that having some acrylic blocks, especially these large ones that will fit over your whole project, are really handy to have to get some really good positive contact. All right, so for each of these examples, we're going to be doing the same thing. And I just want to show you that you can get the same or similar looks as you use different mediums. So this first one is a Distress Oxide blend. And it's just on a panel of multimedia or mixed media cardstock. So that way it will take the water. So it's a really beautiful blend. And I'm going to take my stencil and just spray the back of it with some water off to the side so that I don't get it on my panel. So like so. So I've got water all beaded up on there. And I'm just going to flip it over and put it right on my panel. And as you can see, you're going to get positive contact. And this is where I like to put my block down to really make sure that I get great contact. And I'm going to let that sit there for a minute. So we'll move on to the next one while we're waiting for that one. This one here is dye inks, so some Altenew inks, again on mixed media paper. And I'm using the mixed media paper so that it doesn't bead up, because regular cardstock can do that sometimes. So this one here is a little bit of a thinner look. And again, I'm going to spray that down. The more water you put on here, of course, the more contact you're going to have on your cardstock. So again, I'm going to put that on and I'm going to take a block and pop it right over the top and set it off to the side. The next panel I have here is sprayed with some spray stain. So I've got an oxide spray and a spray stain that this has been sprayed with for kind of a coppery look. And then I've got a dot pattern here. So I'm going to spray this down again really well. Pop that over my cardstock and put my block on top of it again. And I will go ahead and set that off to the side. All right, so for this last one, I've got this leaf pattern and I've got my watercolor panel and I just used some watercolor brush pens to create this. And again, I'll go ahead and spray my leaves, pop them on the panel, and put some blocks on top to get some positive contact. All right, so this is really just sat for as long as it took me to do the rest of these, so just a minute or two. And now I'm going to go ahead and lift this up. And you'll see that gorgeous pattern that has come through. I'm going to take a paper towel and just pull off the excess water and show you the result. So there you go. It's like a beautiful batik kind of look if you're familiar with that, or maybe even a bleach stamping. It gives a really gorgeous effect. And of course, this has the Distress Oxide on it, so it turns a little bit more white where the water has touched it because of that oxidation. So there's our first example. This one was the dye ink, and as you can see, it really started to push in through all the different colors here. So when I lift this up, and again, I'll wipe off the excess water. So this one I could have let sit just a little bit less so that it didn't bleed out as much, but it does give you the effect. And it really, really is gorgeous. It breaks up the colors a little bit because sometimes dye inks aren't really designed to be watercolored with, so it will shatter the ink color. But it really is gorgeous. And again, it's kind of that same look that you would get if you were trying to bleach stamp. All right, so our third one was here. This is the ink sprayed background. And again, because the Distress Oxides leaves that white chalky finish, everywhere the water touched, it got a little bit chalky. And now I've got really beautiful dots that are darker than the rest. And again, a beautiful batik or bleached look. And then the final one is over here, and I know this is going to slide kind of funny, so let me pick that up. This is the watercolored panel. And just like everything else, it started to lift that watercolor and give me those leaf prints. You've got so many amazing ways now that you can use your stencils with a little bit of water and some different water-based mediums to create really cool patterns to your already really cool backgrounds. I hope you enjoyed this technique and you add it into your toolbox sometime soon. When you give it a try, share it out on Instagram and tag me at Nicole Creates. I always love to see what your creative mind is thinking. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. And until next time, happy crafting.